she needed a ladder. Except the one they'd used to build the cabin had been borrowed from cranky old Pa. Talk about someone Kylie didn't want to ask for help. Cudgel Wilde would scold and snarl, and in the end make Kylie want to jump on her horse and ride off and never come back. Thunder sounded in the distance. She had to get on with this. "How do I get up there without a ladder?" she said to herself. Kylie studied the house. The porch roof wasn't real high, but it was steep. Bailey said the Rockies had heavy snow, and the roof needed a steep pitch or it would collapse under the weight. There was a chimney on the south side, yet it climbed up the outside wall right next to the peak of the cabin. Her gaze slid down to the stovepipe. She'd managed to fetch a real pot-bellied stove out to her cabin. Her family thought that was foolishness, but Kylie hated cooking in a fireplace. That stovepipe was fairly solid. It came out of the building through the wall, then curved up through the porch roof. Bailey had done it in that strange way, instead of having it go straight up. She'd said something about retaining heat and preventing sparks and keeping rain out of the stove. Kylie hadn't really been listening. Now, she was glad it was close to the edge of the roof. Of course, it was close to the south side edge, and the flapping shingle was on the north side. She could pull herself up using the pipe, and then she'd have to crawl the length of the porch roof once she was up there, with nothing much to hang on to. But getting up was harder than staying up. Since getting up came first, Kylie focused on that. Bailey set that pipe. She does everything perfectly. It'll probably hold my weight. And below the stovepipe was her hitching post. Shannon did a good job with that, too. She could stand on the hitching post, and if she stretched, she could reach the edge of the roof. But could she get herself up on it? Kylie gave the hammer a dark glare and shoved it into the large pocket of her skirt. The weight almost pulled her skirt right off. Shannon and Bailey might wear breeches all the time, but Kylie didn't do it unless she absolutely had to. If she was going to see anyone besides her family, which she mostly never did, so she mostly never wore pants. She dropped the handful of nails in another pocket and looked at the rocking chairs on her porch. Shannon had built them both, and she'd called them ladderback chairs. They even looked a little like ladders, with 4 nice, even slats up their sturdy backs. The glides on the bottom would rest on the hitching post. Then, when the chair tilted, the high back would reach the support pillar on the porch, and she could climb it like the ladder it was named for. Simple. Wrestling the chair down the steps, Kylie fumed that she had to do this herself. She was a woman, for heaven's sake. She hadn't ought to be stuck doing manly work. Flicking her hair over her shoulder, she enjoyed that she'd grown it long, despite the dire warnings from her sisters and Pa. She smiled every time she felt it bounce around her shoulders. Except now, of course. Not much to smile about right now. They didn't think she should be in skirts either. Well, she was sick and tired of pretending to be a man. In the privacy of her own home, she'd dress and wear her hair as she pleased. Propping the rocking chair on the hitching post, it tilted until it rested solidly on the porch pillar. The chair back didn't reach the roof, but it rested against the column so that if she stood up on the back, she'd be shoulder high to the eaves. She wedged the rocker firmly in place. Staring at the makeshift ladder, Kylie went into the house and dragged out another chair. She set this chair on the ground. No sense using the second rocker. Common sense said that a chair that didn't rock would be better used as the one she'd set on the ground, as her step stool to the hitching post. Kylie liked to think she had common sense, but as she looked at her chair, hitching post, rocking chair creation, she was forced to admit that there was serious room for debate on that.